Nice, eh? So we're out here with our mate, Matt, from MT Performance Engines. We go way back. It's not the first RV we built together. So I'm calling on someone that I knew could get it done and get it done fast, because the wait for these things is ridiculous now. We won't be racing probably this year about the wait. So thanks to Matty, sorted it out and got it done.
Alright, well I guess we've gone through all the machining process at the moment, so now I just guess we'll move on to the cleaning. We'll get everything cleaned up, get all the parts all ready, and then we'll do one final trial fit, I guess, before we finally assemble it. Just because we don't want to damage any of the valve stem seals we're assembling this thing. We'll go through a trial fit, we'll go through all our parts, make sure everything's there. We'll go through, assemble it, and guess we'll show you the process.
Let's go.
Good.
You don't want to take that off, do you?
No, I just want to get rid of that little edge.
You can if you want.
Yeah, just put a little bit, because all the rest are fine.
Yeah, right.
Even that one's got it. Just go tick.
Let me turn the air on.
Zap. Or is it part of the bar?
No, it's Snap-on. That's Snap-on, bro.
You can buy it.
Yeah, $20. Oh shoot.
Nice, eh? Oh, look at that power! I've got the power.
Oh god. Start cleaning shit off. Okay, through, so I'm just going to do that by hand with some sandpaper, worn out shit. Smoothing off these sharp edges here. Just because sharp edges are not good for pre-ignition. So the heat can focus up on that sharp edge and then ignite the fuel off. So if we just get rid of the sharpness, it's less likely to attract the heat up there.
Absolute wizard.
He is, eh?
I don't even know what you really said.
Even the way you blended it, Trev, you just probably do it, eh?
Oh, here, yeah.
So normally these have like a quench pad, there, squish pad, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's got a sharp edge on there. Where you take it, get rid of it. One, force us doesn't create a hot spot. Two, just to sort of drop a little bit of the comp out of it.
Well, the other thing too is when we fire the spark off and the flame front propagates away from the center of the spark plug, it hits those two flat edges.
So that's the hot spot.
As it travels out, it hits those, and the distance between there and here is different. So if we make the distance the same, it creates the pressure wave. Yeah, it goes down over the whole crown of the piston evenly, pushes the piston down nice and even.
That's an engineering explanation.
Yeah, so can you like dumb that down?
So if we make the distance the same, it creates.
Fire bad but good when piston go down and up. Nailed it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, eh?
It's more or less just even in the combustion cycle.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
It slows it down a lot, and I've seen other head places talk about how you slow the combustion process down. That is true, but when we're turning over 10,000 RPM, 100 pounds of boost on a monstrous 100+ mil turbo, like we're not concerned as much as the combustion length of time. We're worried about the controlled combustion, so we want to control how hard the combustion works and the speed of it. More so, we're concerned more about control than speed. We don't want the speed. We have the ability to make any power we want, really upwards of the turbo's capability. So
we have the power.
We have the power.
Yeah.
We have the power, but we don't have the control. So this is control, not power. We're not trying to worry about so much the speed, but the control. We want better control.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Like we said, the most simple heads are the best, eh, Trez?
Yeah.
I think everyone gets caught up in going crazy with these things, and then it's not what everyone thinks. Like back in the day on Grand Turismo, when we used to get your head boarded and your crank polished and all that. Nah, it's not like that. It's actually maybe for making 1,000 horsepower, spending more time on port work and short turns and all that definitely helps.
Definitely.
But to try and do what we're doing, you need every bit of meat and strength left in the head. Hence why we're just doing the bare minimum to make it work.
And the compensation for boost helps with that, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 100. Like I said, something making 1,000 horsepower on 35 pounds, we're going to 100. So literally, it's going to find its way in there.
There's a limit of like how much work it gets to make. Like the more you port the cylinder head, the bigger the valves you go, the bigger the throats and all that. Up towards a certain point, that helps a lot on a smaller horsepower engine. And don't get me wrong, if you had a standard cylinder head with standard valves and standard ports and all that, but you put a 110mm turbo on it, you are not going to make the power. It just won't happen. So at some point there is a requirement for, you know, oversizing the throats and fixing the short turns and fixing the port size, but you can go too far, so you start losing airspeed. So we're not so much concerned about that because we're at a point here with this head, we haven't lost the airspeed, we're still turning the RPM and turning the air over on the cylinder head, but we're not losing the we're not losing because we're too small. So we're sort of in a sweet spot of power here. And at some point, if you needed to go more, I mean, realistically, these cars stage the power. We're not looking for response around a circuit or coming out of the corner.
Responsible 110, honestly.
Yeah, so this is a staging car. So all the power is created at the start line, and then it's holding that power essentially the entire run. Unlike a circuit car, we've got transient conditions of power that are necessary for coming out of a corner, making boost response and power. This car leaves the start line at monstrous power and it maintains that the entire pass. So it's a completely different world.
But overdoing all these intake ports and all that stuff is everyone struggles with back pressure. So by just opening up the intakes and cramming more air in there, all you're doing is just create more cylinder pressure, which essentially is just going to make you harder to manage your back pressure. So there is a point where it goes too far and it's just pointless essentially. But
well, we keep learning, right? So in the industry, we keep finding that what we thought, 10 years ago isn't the case anymore. So we used to think that like turbo technology has come such a long way in even the last few years. Yeah, ECUs, which is control. Again, it's control. The engines physically haven't changed, right?
Methanol's been the same.
Yeah, fuel. Yeah, chemical fuel's been the same. It's literally how much better the aerodynamics of the turbines can get, and then ECU control, and then into that too, like injector control's got a lot better. So it comes down to control is really the last thing that's changed, and air, how we're moving the air. So realistically, the engines physically haven't changed in 100 years. There's still an air pump. It's how we control the air coming in and getting out that's been changing.
Water pump, like a rotary.
Yeah.
Like a dam pump.
No? You could use a rotary as a dam pump. Very expensive dam pump.
That's what it started out as. It was a dam pump.
Really?
Yeah. And
pumping them in Giuseppe.
Wrapping away with that.
No, it wasn't. It was Japan.
They put them in the planes.
They're planing them.
Yeah. Do you reckon I can't count something good?
No, I'm thorough when I count shit.
I can count.
How much boost do you eventually want to run on this thing?
I'll tell you how much we're going to go.
So the way we work out, I'll give you a quick rundown of how you work out how much valve spring pressure you need to actually work a valve, right? So when we talk boost pressure, it's 1 pound per square inch, right, of boost. So for every pound of boost pressure you put behind the valve, which is trying to force the valve open, if your valve head, let's just say for instance, your valve head is 1 inch in diameter, you've got 1 pound, let's say you've got 20 pounds of boost, that's 20 pounds of pressure you're trying to actually open the valve. So if your springs rest at 80 pounds of spring pressure and you're running 20 pounds of boost pressure, your effective valve spring pressure is only 60 pounds of pressure. So now, there's a calculation, and this is a very rough estimate, a calculation of how much minimum valve spring pressure you need to run. The minimum valve spring pressure on an engine is about 60 pounds. To about 8,000 RPM. For every 1,000 RPM after that, you need another 10 pounds of spring pressure. So let's just say we rev to 10,000. We need 80 pounds of spring pressure minimum on our valve. Then we add boost. So for another 20 pounds, you basically need 120 pounds of spring pressure closed. So as the valve spring is then closed. So if we want to add 100 pounds of boost, we need a lot of spring pressure. So one of the things we can do is we can buy a heavy spring and we can put more springs. And in the RB26's case, we can put 2 springs in it. We can put an inner and an outer spring. Then the only other way we can actually increase our valve spring pressure is adding shims underneath the spring to jack up the base pressure. So what we're working out now is the valve head diameter, which is 1.4 inches. Rob's just informed me we want to run 100 pounds of boost. So now we're just going to jack the spring pressure up and we're going to get a nice base pressure so we can actually run that sort of target boost pressure. So that's what we're figuring out here. So So
Magician.
These work
good.
out.
I told you, the smartest dump I've ever met.
So, look at these Supertex basically come in at seat pressure is 92 pounds at 40.7 installed height. Installed height is basically once this is actually assembled inside the cylinder head and the valve retainer is put down and the collets are put in, the resting spring rate of this valve shut should be, if installed at 40.7, should be 92 pounds, which gives us an effective spring pressure to run to say, 30 pounds of boost on this valve. What I've noticed with the RB26s and all these overhead cam engines, again, that formula is a very broad formula that they've been using for 100 years with push rods and rockers. That all adds extra weight. This is direct overhead valve train. What we've noticed is that you can actually put a lot more than what they say in. So we've had these exact springs running at 92 pounds on the seat and we've put substantially more boost pressure than should be able to work, and it still worked. Hasn't valve floated, the valves work flawlessly. So it's a rule of thumb, these
Could you
rules.
just show someone your part number?
It doesn't matter. Whoops. Blow that out.
Show. No, I'm saying.
Use it.
Yeah.
What was that fucking roast there? You fucking sound like a Neanderthal.
How about you tried to put a retainer on before the valve spring, Trev? Are you alright or what?
That's how you test the fucking
Is his head
valve
gonna
spring
work
for-
or what?
Oh my god. So I'm going to show you how to test it. So what we do...
Bit of grease on the lock.
That's not enough grease.
Have you ever thought about being a tape teacher?
I have actually. You got to do your Cert 4 in education and training, and I'm not interested.
Because he explains it like it's good enough for a tape teacher, eh?
The more you f*** around, the more you're going to find out.
That's what it's doing on the two-step. I was just on the
So,
two-step,
we just
GDR
hold the-
Festival, May
so
25th.
the grease just, so that's just going. The grease is just going to hold our locks in. So now let it go. So now we want to pull down on the valve to lock it into the retainer. So now we push it up. So that's as it would be if there was a valve spring in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure our installed height. So we have to measure from underneath the thickness of the retainer down to where the actual spring sits. The way to do that is I'll use just a bit of like welding rod. That's the. So then we just put that in there, tap it down, and then that installs our seat. Feel it, hear that
We can hear it.
tone change?
Yeah.
Green light, let's get it. I'm the future, I'm in it. Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it. I just win. I'm on 10. Hello, I'm Himothy. I got the recipe. I got the flow. I got the remedy.
So what I'm doing now, so I lube the valves, chuck them in, spin it, drop that down. So these I number all my valves, number 12. So we're just lubricating the shaft.
Nice.
So I run the lube, run around the valve face to stop any rust whilst it's in the assembly process.
I'm the future, I'm in it. Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it. I just win. I'm on 10. Green light, let's get it. I'm the future, I'm in it. Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it. I just win. I'm on 10.
Who said I wasn't him? Who said it? All this talk about who's on top and who's not.
So if you want to have a feel, Rob, that's the... Yeah, it's hard, eh? No, that's...
No, I gave myself the green light. Catch a shoe from the 3. If I'm not the one, it doesn't seem right. I need like 2, 4, 5, 6 in them rings. I'm talking back to back to back like 23. Green light, let's get it. I'm the future, I'm in it. Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it. I just win. I'm on 10. Green light, let's get it. I'm the future, I'm in it. Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it. I just win. I'm on 10.
Fucking Chris!
Send a delivery, man.
Green light, let's get it. I'm the future, I'm in it. Check score, I'm winning. Green light, let's get it.